Hey, Rudy, are we getting onto this podcast after the October break? And what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dante. This is awkward.
Why are you sat at a desk with a sign stating auditions open? What auditions?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I thought you would have understood the situation we now find ourselves in, right now.
Okay, so that you're holding casting couch auditions again? Dude, that really is not acceptable. Not in this Me Too world, please.
No, that's gross. I've had training and counselling, but no, you've hit the age now, yeah?
The age?
Right, it was your birthday last week, yeah?
Yes, that's correct, and I've already forgotten it.
And it was a big one, right? A big number one, yeah?
Yes. If you're referring to the fact that I turned 40, yes, it was a big one. I'm still waiting for your card and present, by the way.
Yeah, it's in the post. Right, look at your hand. Have you noticed it's flashing red now?
Well, yeah, that is weird. That's been happening for a week now.
And you're wearing a 70s style jumpsuit.
I wear that anyway.
Right, yeah, that's true. But I'll get on. I'll explain to you. With you turning 40, I've had to, sort things out for the podcast. I mean, you know about the age, so now I need to replace you.
Like Logan's Run? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
the world doesn't work like that. I'm literally like a week older than I was before my birthday, and I'm about 3 weeks older than you. That's how aging works.
Yeah, not in gaming, though. And this is a gaming podcast. You see, when you hit 40, you stop being a gamer. You become an older gamer, which is a demographic that just doesn't work when it comes to game media and podcasting. You know this.
What the hell are you on about? I'm literally still playing exactly the same games I started before I turned 40. I've been playing the same game for about 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, you see, you're trying to play the same game, sure, but you're too old to be a real gamer now. That is the essence of the age. Your faculties will begin to slip, controls will slip out of your hands, the buttons and stuff will seem too difficult. You'll start getting annoyed whenever a game has any time to download and complain that it wasn't like that in your day. I've been complaining about that for at least 10 years. See what I mean? There you go. Proof.
Rudy, I can see what you're saying. We're getting older, I'm getting older, you're getting older, and we age, we probably do slow down, our reactions get slower, but seriously, nothing has changed over the course of the last week. I am still me, I am just as good a gamer as I was a week ago, i.e. I'm still a pretty shit gamer.
Right, okay. Let's take a step back and put it another way. All right. Okay. Have you played all the Souls games and defeated all bosses, including optional bosses, solo without calling anyone in to help?
No! Nor have you! I'm not a big fan of those Souls Balls games, and that doesn't mean I'm not a real gamer. I play lots of standard difficulty games where you can change the difficulty. Good games.
Okay, right. Another thing. Since turning 40, have you, and this is a really serious question, pawned any noobs in Warzone?
I didn't do that before I turned... What does that even mean?
Well, that's because you're 40, but you probably did know last week. You've forgotten or something.
I didn't know. I play Fortnite. It's a much younger game than you ever play. Turning 40, I played it today, if that helps. That game is popular with young players.
Oh, Dante, that is sick. That's a game meant for under 40s. What are you doing online with young people? That's just weird and creepy. Ooh.
What the hell are you talking about?
Well, see, the issue is that since you've hit the age, well, if I'm honest, there isn't space for you on the podcast. So I'm got to hold open auditions for under 40s to apply for co-host responsibility.
What? You're replacing me? Fuck that.
Retiring you. We thank you very much for your service here on Jambags, and I've ordered you a bunch of flowers, some Weathers Originals, and a dried out piece of fruitcake that I've partially eaten. But it's time for you to move on now to greener pastures, or I don't know, maybe a home or something. Maybe you could start a podcast of dog grooming or fly fishing. I don't know, whatever old people do.
What the fuck are you on about? You can't just replace me because I've hit an arbitrary age. We started this podcast when we were well into our 30s. We were never exactly that young to begin with. I mean, people look at us as the old people, and they have done for years.
It's about demographics, Dante. They don't lie. They don't lie if I understood what they were. We need to appeal to real gamers, and that isn't really you anymore since you turned 40. I'm sorry. It's just, circle of life.
You turn 40 in like a month. You know that, right?
Yeah, of course. I haven't forgotten. It's my birthday. Yeah.
Okay, so will you be too old? Is your light going to start blinking?
Obviously, it's, I'm not, as much as I try, I'm not, exempt from the, time's flow or whatever it is. I'm planning ahead, you see. I'm already working on my replacement too. I'm not just doing, auditions. They're not just your audition replacement. I mean, I reckon I probably have another episode or two in me, but then, yep, I go into the old gaming people's home to moan about, I don't know,
Stop. This is ridiculous. I'm doing this month's podcast. I'm doing next month's podcasts. If you decide to retire, that is fine. But I'm staying. Like, really staying. I'm not old. I'm not some retired old age pensioner just because I have hit the big 4-0.
Right, okay. Weather's original?
Oh, yeah. Give me that.
And welcome, Jambaggers, to another episode of Jambags Gaming Podcast, which will apparently be running a little bit longer with my co-host
Dante Rodriguez and my esteemed colleague, Mr.
Rudy Manchego. And so it's been a while since we've been on the air. Sorry about the delay and everything. But one question in my mind, Dante, it's been a while since we caught up. What's you playing, son? What
is I playing? I am playing some video games. I'm kind of getting stuck into getting stuck into the Game Pass library a little bit now that I've sort of finally pulled the trigger on that one. So I've been playing The Medium. That was a good sort of Halloween game. I've still got to finish off a little bit of that, but yeah, that was all right. That's been good. Sort of more mid-level sort of. They call them AA games, I guess. Ones that aren't kind of made by complete scumbags is quite nice. Talking of scumbags, been playing Valhalla again a bit.
Oh, yep.
And a bit of Immortals Phoenix Rising. Again, a little bit of Fortnite. What else have I been having? Oh, I restarted Half-Life 2 because nostalgia.
Yep.
I've got some good ones on the go. I've been very kindly bought a copy of Sayonara Wild Hearts for my birthday, which I'm looking forward to.
What legend would have bought you that?
I don't know. Some douchebag that kind of couldn't think of anything better to get me, I guess. But wow. Wow.
I still have the receipt. Someone probably still has the receipt.
Someone probably does. No, I would never be so great. I'm really looking forward to giving that a go. I'm enjoying the Switch as well. I'm enjoying playing Resident Evil Revelations 2 on it. Ooh, yeah, cool. Diablo 3, again, talking to scumbags. But yeah, that's it. It's a lot of games in a lot of different places at the minute. How about yourself? What are you playing right now?
Wow, I had a bit of time off, so I managed to get through some actual games. I finished Cyberpunk 2077. Well, finished the campaign, all the main side missions. It took me about 50 hours. I
would not have predicted a year or so ago that you would finish that game before me, that you would play it before I would.
Yeah, it deserves its own segment at some point. I think I've got a lot of mixed feelings about that game. Good and bad. If you take out the whole release of the lying, that is terrible. But the actual game, if you look at the game itself, yeah, it's an interesting mixed bag. But I've finished that off. I've been playing it since the summer, so it's been a few podcasts, but I've been kind of off and on in the background. Played it on PC, so when I was sat upstairs on the old computer at the desk. I also whapped through a bit of an indie title on Xbox Game Pass, Artful Escape, which was possibly my favourite game I played this year. It was absolutely mental, and I loved it. It was not much gameplay, it's more of a narrative story, but wow, was it it goes places. I think it's probably the way to put it. It starts off as you're like a better sort of indie trope, kind of a 2D world. You're a guitarist who's worried about living up to his famous folk singer uncle, a bit like a Bob Dylan kind of character. And I was like, this is a bit, and he's really angsty about it. But then he gets shot into space playing with Carl Weathers' kind of electro over-the-top guitar riffs through loads of massive psychedelic vibe in spaces. It's just so much fun. It's so silly. It's lovely. It's brilliant. I love it. If you love if you're a fan of ELO and stuff like that, this is the game for you if you want psychedelic.
No, I will give it a go. I mean, I feel like Game Pass has saved me so much money. I mean, I really did not like Back for Blood very much, and I know I would have bought that had I not had Game Pass to try out.
What else am I playing? I did pick up Resident Evil 4 for the Oculus Quest, the VR version.
Hey,
it's
nice.
good. I'm a few hours into that, but it's a good port. It's done really good. It's actually quite nice and smooth and easy to play, I guess, in a way. Actually makes it a bit easier being in VR because of the aiming and stuff. But it's good. Really liking that. And I'm also embarked on trying to finally get stuck into Demon Souls to PS5.
Nice.
And it's just, I suck at these games and I am not very good at them. It's taking
Except
me 6
Bloodborne,
hours.
which you're kind of semi-competent at.
Yeah, but that was hard earned. That's like 100 hours to get semi-competent. I'm 6 hours into this, and I can still barely swing the sword properly. So, It's also, you can see that they'd refined the gameplay by sort of later Souls titles because this has been the first one, even because it's a straight remake. Yeah, it's a bit clunky in places, but I will, no doubt, probably next podcast, I'll still be playing it because it's going to be a long game, and I suck balls at it. So. It's been quite a meaty. We've been playing quite a lot of different titles. That's quite. Normally we're just like we're playing the same one as last month, but we've been plowing through stuff.
No, it felt good to get back to Valhalla and make a bit of progress in it. I actually got to the next area, and I'm hoping to keep that momentum going, so I can at least finish the main quest. I think.
Well, I think we've done a semi-competent job of what most gaming podcasts have to do, which is talk about what we are playing. So,
I feel like that's kind of our brand watchword, semi-competent.
I think that's generous, but hey, don't worry about it. But
that's what we aim for, though. It's what we're striving for.
We aim for a semi at all times. We're proud of a semi-competent.
Yeah, it's proudly sporting a semi-competent thing.
So shall we go on to where we really shine, which is our news segment?
I think so. It's time to go to From the Jambags. And hello, Jambaggers. Welcome to our regular news segment From the Jambags. And we have got some fun-filled news items for you this month, haven't we, Rudy?
Oh, yes. We've got some juicy nuggets, nuggles.
Nougat?
Nugnugs. I don't know what Nugnugs is, but that's our new segment. We're calling it Nugnugs. We've got some Nugnugs here, which are going to, there's some pretty interesting stories from some of the biggest names in gaming. So,
100% true, totally not made up waffle.
This is the good stuff. So you're going to start off with one of our good old friends. So take it away, Dante.
Absolutely. Now we have an update for some of what's going on with the ongoing legal action with Hacktivision Snowstorm, and our story concerns Mr. Bobby Kotick.
Wow. Yeah, he is in the news a lot, isn't he?
He is in the news a lot. His name is getting mentioned not just in the gaming news, it's the actual news we're seeing him talking about. So clearly is a man who is desperate to keep his job and to avoid any responsibility whatsoever for the terrible work environment that he was very definitely responsible for. He has asked that his salary is basically what he seems to refer to as minimum wage, or at least the lowest number he can think of, $500K a year.
Right, okay. I'm not, obviously, Bobby Kotick is based in the US now. I know what our minimum wage is here in the UK, where we're based. Is $500K the minimum wage in America? In which case, do we need to move?
Maybe we do. I mean, he was down in wherever we were in Cornwall last a couple of months ago. So clearly, he's made the right move to go there. That's what minimum wage is. I mean, on top of the sheer fortune that he's sitting on, like some kind of dragon from a J.R.R. Tolkien story. On top of that, it seems like that's real punishment for Bobby. I mean, I don't think he can conceive of a number that's any lower than that. To be honest, $500K is the smallest figure. He's a bit like Mr. Burns when he goes to the cash machine. Yeah,
can you think? Does he give a reason why he's picked that number? Is there a particular reason why he's picked that as the lowest number he could think of?
I'm not sure. Again, I just think that's the only thing that he can grasp as a small number. He thinks that as a small number. Anything that doesn't have million in it is considered a small number by Mr. Cocklick. There's no way he could possibly survive on anything lower than that, and he is limiting himself. Oh, poor Bobby. Only 2 new Ferraris this year.
And that is the tragic story really that people aren't reporting on with this, which is that, yeah, I mean, sure, Activision Snowstorm, yeah, they've got, they've had a sexist sort of, a racist, homophobic workplace, which has led to abuse of many people being, leaving the industry or having miserable times and being, psychologically affected or worse in some cases. Yeah. And that's, okay, let's all jump on that bandwagon. But we're also forgetting that, execs like, Bobby Kotick are not going to buy as many sports cars as they normally would do. And that is
so tragic. It feels so sad for those poor billionaires.
When journalists expose this kind of thing, they're not thinking of the costs, are they? The human costs.
No, they're clearly not. Yeah, think about his ability to drive. Maybe wouldn't be able to get a Ferrari, or maybe have to kind of slum it with an Aston Martin or something.
Well, exactly. It certainly won't be the. You couldn't get 2 of the very latest models. With all the doodles on it. The nugs.
He's going to have to buy a number plate that's from last year. I mean, how is he going to be able to show himself at his various country clubs and pads? That is
the question. I think that's a. Well, it's hard. I think maybe we could do a sponsored silence or something or a moment's silence for him later on in the podcast. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like a concerted maybe year of not buying anything that they sell would be a great way to show what we feel about it.
Kind of like, it's like a sponsored silence, but a silence, sponsored don't buy anything.
Sponsored boycott, and
okay.
Maybe we'll give them the money. Maybe we'll give it to, maybe people's mental health charity or something, who's probably going to be where his staff go.
Well, I'm going to neatly segue by suggesting that from someone that who's going for less money, I'm going to go to a story about people asking for more money.
Oh, no, there's a segue. That's how you do a segue.
That's a semi.
That's almost fully competent. That's almost a fully hardly competent.
Yeah. So, I mean, cool. If anyone's tuning in for the first time and they're getting all of this semi-competency in one go. So we're talking about Nintendo. Okay, Dante, we're talking Nintendo.
I love to talk about Nintendo. I'm a recent convert to the Switch lifestyle.
Yeah, First well, Nintendo this is relevant for you, Dante. So Nintendo do what Nintendo don't or do. Anyway, they're announcing now that they have their Switch online service. Mm-hmm. You get with that, cloud saves, you get online gaming, and you also get some NES and SNES games, a selection. But now they're offering, not offering, and I think this is the key thing here, that you can pay double to play some more games that have been out for over 25 years. You see, that's right. Nintendo have doubled the price of Switch Online membership for the ability to play some N64 games and some Genesis games that are already available on the system by other means, but for double the cost. And Nintendo have said that they aim to expand this service, so not just because there's a few games on it now, but they're going to properly invest and expand this service over, basically add more games to it every other leap year with 2 or 3 titles, some of which will only be accessible on Tuesday, Thursdays, and maybe a Saturday morning if they can remember Nintendo servers on.
When the Switch was first launched, didn't they not have any kind of paywall around their online kind of play content, and it's just kind of
there was no cloud saves, but there was no pay that you could play online without any kind of paywall. That is correct. Yeah.
And now they've added in what seemed like a lower cost subscription. It didn't seem quite as much as, say, Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus. And now is it around about the same price as both of those?
You can still get the lower option, so I'm gonna, let's just be quite clear.
Okay, so not forcing.
Only a loser wouldn't want to play those 6 or 7 Nintendo 64 games, or those collection of Sega Genesis games which have been around for 25 years and are pretty much all widely available online. And that's not only that, but there's big plans as well. They're not just stopping here. They've also acknowledged the rumours, because there have been rumours swirling around for a while now, that yes, Game Boy Advance games are coming in about 7 to 10 years and will be 4 times as much as the current annual subscription for 3 games, all of which are only localised into Icelandic. A Nintendo spokesperson confirmed that this represents extreme value for gamers, especially their beloved core customers who they labeled lovingly gullible. Aww. I mean, they do like their core customers. They love
them. They really kind of go all out for those gullible for people.
Exactly, and I mean that's just what Nintendo do. They're just doing great consumer friendly stuff like this all the time. It's brilliant. I love to see it.
I do. It seems like a really nice trend among gaming companies just lately. I mean, half the stuff that Sony have been doing, we're charging you for director's cuts, and now this from Nintendo. Yeah, they are clearly thinking about the consumer when they make these kind of changes and proposals.
And any neat segue into your story, Dante? Have you got any?
Yes.
Can you segue it in any way? Just,
Yeah, so going from a company that is completely screwing their consumers through to Ubisoft, who've been doing that for years. Nice. Ubisoft, they have released their original, very long heralded original Ubisoft game, Long Shriek 7: The Shriekening.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I mean we're fans.
I'm aware that there is a new Long Shriek coming out.
New Long Shriek. I think it already is out by now. But,
sorry, you are right. Sorry, I've seen it on the side of buses. That's how I know it's out.
Yes, that's normally how I know something's not selling very well, because I see it on the side of buses.
That is why our podcast has been advertised on there a while, actually.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely right. So, most critics or people that have played the game even for a few minutes point out that it is far from original. It's the same kind of format over and over again. Mostly, it's just a rehash of the most popular game in the series, Long Shriek 4: Shrieky Friday.
Ooh, that's very shrieky.
Oh, well, I mean, you like that one. You told me
I'm not going to lie. Long Shriek 4: Shrieky Friday. I have played that 100%, completed it, so done everything on it, and it was a great game back in the day. And it's good to know that great game is still being made every other year.
Yeah, it's just kind of repackaged and put in a different environment and just shipped up like it's something that's absolutely brand new. So, release of updated content has been promised, but apparently has been delayed because employees at Ubisoft are rioting right now. They are up in arms, sort of striking, all that sort of stuff, over the fact that absolutely nothing has changed since allegations of workplace abuse came out. Was it last year, or no? It was the year before, wasn't it?
God, many years. I think it's been like every other year. More stories come out of horrendousness.
Yeah, and the employees there are, I think, understandably annoyed because they look across the fence at what's going on at Hacktivision Snowstorm, and they see, okay, maybe not a massive amount of change, but just maybe a little bit, certainly more than we've seen at Ubisoft takes place. Which they say, well, why aren't we getting some of this sweet new employee kind of contracts and a massive pay cut for whoever Hubert Lefranchman, who deserves to be thrown in jail, basically.
Well, I mean, it's part of me. I like the audacity of Ubisoft copying and pasting their game every 2 years. After Long Shriek 4: Shrieky Friday, and just doing it, and then just slightly changing the color palette and some of the accents on it. But hey, it still sells gazillions. That's the crazy thing, right?
It is, and I mean, if you look at all of Ubisoft games that since Long Shriek 4, they pretty much every of the franchises has adopted that kind of structure and that gameplay. Whether it's a third person or first person, whether it's a tactical shooter or a game about people stabbing people in ancient history, they all seem to kind of follow that way of very easily monetized structure that they've got.
Well, what I've got here is, this is a cracker of a segue, by the way, Dante. I actually prepped this one in advance, so I'm going to lay this on your right. So from worker abuse to possible child abuse. No, actually, that's a bit more serious than what I intended to. From worker abuse to parental abuse. No, that's also really bad. I'm going to
maybe some mild neglect, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe from worker neglect. Well, it's not really neglect. They're getting kind of like abused, but from worker neglect to.
I'm glad you prepped this so thoroughly. You
I
really
didn't
kind of
read
nailed
it out loud. I'm going to say that I wrote it down and didn't. Right. Anyway,
did you get your daughter to write it for you again?
No, she does the more ruder and saucy, risque kind of bits that she does for us with with big words in it. But okay, it's kind of that. This one's a pretty serious one. It's affected millions of parents and children around the world, and their parents are pretty furious because, in this last week, popular online game Botox has been down for over 60 hours at time of recording.
I am so grateful to that game. That game is it's like someone to watch the children for me while I'm doing anything else.
It's funny you say that also because basically this is a mobile and console title that allows children to build their own monetization schemes and publish them online who would spend money on. And has pretty much over the last few years taken on the role of, I guess, as you said, an unofficial babysitter. I guess that might be the way you put it, or even a cheeky little au pair that you've got in from
some Eastern European country, perhaps.
Yeah, or a shipping container. I mean, put it this way: one parent on the forums said that they were furious. I mean, they literally on the forums for Botox, they were furious. Because they've been unable to finish up Squid Game on Netflix because of the outage, and they really can't believe they had to sit with their kids and actually watch Paw Patrol instead of finishing off Squid Game. Oh,
the humanity! They're actually having to do some parenting. How those poor parents!
Yeah. Now, the makers of Botox have been quick to respond. I will be fair to these guys. They've come out and said they've apologised. They said it's not good enough, and that as a reward, they will be adding more microtransactions that parents can pay for as an apology for the disruption. So the kids will be able to buy more stuff on their credit cards as a way to say sorry.
Microtransactions?
Microtransactions.
Pramsmactions. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's when they're basically getting... The pramsactions are when you get kids babies addicted to microtransactions.
Just mash the controller to spend more money on Botox.
Exactly. Well, if they dribble on the phone, then they automatically spend money on, I don't know, NFTs, whatever they are. I don't know, something like that. Blockchain.
I have no idea what that is. Yeah. My kids like Fortnite. They haven't gotten to Botox so much.
Yeah, it's as I said, it's a very particular game, but basically, probably upwards of 20 or 30 million. Children had to spend time with their parents, and those parents weren't happy.
I expect they weren't that happy on either side of it. To be honest, I mean, what child likes spending time with their parents? God.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I mean, I hate it. Not really, Mum. Sorry, Mum. I didn't mean that. She listens to the podcast religiously.
Really? Oh, okay. Mine don't. I think they probably got more sense than that, to be honest. But
my mum doesn't really. Anyway. That about wraps it up for news, I think. I don't have any horrible segues to go or offensive segues to go into the ending of this one. So, any anything?
Well, that's my mama. Oh, what is all the smoke from? Oh, why does it smell like the ending of Ghostbusters in here? Oh, dog hair.
Dante. Through here. Quick.
Oh, it's even worse in here. Rudy, what are you doing in my mum's garage?
Well, first of all, we call it Jambags HQ, remember? The listeners, we've got to maintain the mystique, anyway.
Okay. Let me do it again. Oh, Rudy, what are you doing in the flashy space age Jambags HQ with all the smoke in the
air? I'm glad you asked, Dante. I am glad you asked.
Hey, wait, this is clear. Is that your PS5?
Well, I am. Wait a second. Let me just. Yes, it is.
But you've what?
Yes, I have. I've finally and expertly removed the weird side flap things. Looks great, doesn't it? Look at it.
Well, I mean, I won't deny it. It looks better. I mean, it's less like a piece of genitalia than it used to. But, I mean, don't those things provide a function? Aren't they there for some reason? Don't you need them on there for something?
Well, I don't want to get too technical, because listeners might not enjoy that. But that's the best part on Stacey. Did you hear about that company D-Brand saying their own side panels for PS5s and stuff? With the black colour and everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I heard about all the litigation where Sony was trying to make them stop selling them.
What? No, that didn't happen. What are you on about?
Are you just hearing what you want to hear again?
Yeah, I'd love an omelette. Oh, and a copy of Metroid Dread if you got one, thanks.
Yeah, Rudy, I said I don't want to get sued. And when we started this podcast, that was my main aim, not to be sued.
Fear not, Dante. Fear not. J. Brand is in no danger of litigation. Trust me.
Trust you? Okay, sure, yeah, that never goes wrong.
Well, here we go. For my grand unveiling, check out PS5 cooling. Wait for it. Jambag.
Whoa! Wow, that sure does give a different look to your PS5. And, you get our company name in there. Oh, no, this is great.
What did I tell you? Yeah, I mean, this does completely change the aesthetic of the big device, eh?
Wow. Okay, so you've got like a bag on either side. So what's in those two bags on either side now? On those
well, the clues in the title. They're cooling jam. I'm using jam to cool the device down.
Wow! Oh no, that's brilliant. That's genius. It's very veiny though, and the hair. What's with the hair?
It's a type of it's a renewable form of heatsink, I think.
Oh, okay. So it kind of it grows and regenerates, does it? That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's pretty organic.
Yeah.
Organic.
It is amazing, Rudy. I don't normally associate that word with you, but this is. It's pretty amazing.
Ooh, I'm blushing.
Is something familiar, though. Familiar about this whole look. I cannot quite put my finger on it. Did you copy it from somewhere?
How dare you accuse me of plagiarism, Dante? This is an original idea straight from the creative mind of moi, Rudy Manchiagor.
It looks like balls.
What?
It looks like big, hairy, round, testy balls.
It does not.
You've turned, absolutely. You have turned your PS5 from a giant frou-frou.
You six.
Into a giant, hairy, veiny, lopsided. Is that my scrotum? No, that's not my scrotum. But still a lopsided scrotum.
How dare you, Dante? Just seriously, how dare you? You have got such a deviant, perverted, disgusting mind. And actually, no, I can see it looks like balls now. Yeah.
Oh. Rudy, you're such a bellend. How did you not know? How did you come up with this idea in the first place?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it was, the best ideas come to me. I was, chilling out on the sofa, watching some kind of documentary about Jeff Bezos, and his trips to Mars or whatever the fuck he's doing. And then I passed out, and this vision just came to me from that. I just don't know where it came from.
After watching the Jeff Bezos documentary. Jeff Bezos and his penis-shaped rocket.
I don't see the relation, but actually now I can. Yeah, that was a big old pair of balls in that rocket, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I think that around the launch pad or something like that.
Yeah,
right. True. Okay, so let's look at damage limitation here. How much of our budget have you sunk into these big, hairy PlayStation 5 ball bags?
Well, this is primarily the reason why there was no October podcast. And also, your car's now a push bike. Sorry.
My car is a push bike? Okay. Mm-hmm. That's fine. That's fine.
It is. Wow. Wait a sec. Why is it... Hang on a minute. Why is it fine? You're not normally fine when I do something like this. Why is this one fine?
Well, you see, Rudy, because now I get to teabag you with your own PS5.
And this brings us to the end of the Jambags Comedy Gaming Podcast for this month. However, it wouldn't be the end of a podcast without some rather wonderful questions from our listeners. And we have two from the incredibly prolific Metal Shark.
Yes.
And one here, which I quite liked, Dante, which is...
Okay, no, I've not seen these yet. Go on.
Yeah, so... Because it's not about me. It's nothing to do with me. This is a question directed to you. But, Metal Shark ponders. I think the word ponder here is good use for it. What three peripherals that I'd have chosen for a game where you role play as Dante Rodriguez, that's you, as he goes about everyday life... Also, if that skill level would need more settings than 1 or 2.
Okay, no, I saw this one on Twitter a while ago, but we're going for this one again. Okay, go on then. All right, go for it.
Yeah, well, I feel that on Twitter we put a glib, come back to it, and that's fine. But this is a serious question that I've put a lot of time and thought into it, and I think that we need to keep it topical to gaming. Mm-hmm. So I think one of the items, what peripheral? When I say peripheral, it's something that's peripheral to you. So you know, when you use any of your internal organs or anything that's currently inside you.
Nothing inside me. No, thank you.
I would say that you're liking your Nintendo Switch at the moment, so you can have your Switch with you, and that will include games that's on the hard drive. I'm not going to separate it, so you can play that. So that's an important thing. But the other two items that I associate with you most are cling film, plastic wrap, and a large industrial-sized box of lard.
Wow.
Or fat, basically, for those that are from the US. And I think that those are what I see you using in combination through most days. For reasons. For reasons.
Just for reasons.
That's
okay.
Right.
That's
and the question of what skill level would actually, if that skill level would need more settings than one or two, I actually suggest that that's selling your shoulder, Dante. I think to use the items in the way that you would personally use them with the lard, with the big chunk of fat and cling film plastic wrap or and Nintendo Switch is actually pretty. Skill level's quite high on that to do what you do. I don't know how you manage to do it, but you do. So I'm going to go with 11 out of 10.
Right.
Yeah, because I've not seen what you do, and I've looked for it on the internet. I've not, no one else does that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's an answer to a question that I probably need to find out what I do on the internet that I possibly do in some sort of somnambulism or something like that. Because, all right. Well, I don't get a chance to kind of fire back at you on this one. Is that,
no, not
that's the thing I don't get.
You don't get any chance. No, this is about. It says it's literally. I'm reading it as it says it. You can go on Twitter and see it. It says Dante Rodriguez. Nothing there about me whatsoever. This one's about you.
Okay, but if I was saying about Rudy Manchego, I'd say that you would need a penis extender, a coat hanger, and a bottle of lube. So yeah.
I get two of those because I do actually have them at my person right now. But the coat hanger,
I'm just looking at things in my room. To be honest,
are all of those in your room? Yeah. I'm so glad we don't do this with cameras on. Right? Okay. I'm not even going to ask about the skill level for that one. However, the next question from Good Sir Mellow Shark is. Which game title would you most like to see your co-host play using the Konami laser scope? P.S. It's voice activated. Now,
okay, so you know more about this than I do. This is is it retro or is it fairly new?
So no, this is old bit of tech. This is something that as a kid I really wanted. So if you can imagine, back in the day of the Nintendo Entertainment System, NES.
Yeah, I remember the scope there. That was heavily advertised on TV, and I really wanted it, and no one would ever buy it for me. Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
But so this was, rather than the orange light gun that you could have, the zapper gun, Konami brought out this kind of thing, which kind of went across your, was like a kind of, not a hairband, but kind of your head, with this really, really cool kind of sort of glass aiming reticle over your one eye. So it was a kind of like you aimed with your eye, and it had a microphone on it, and you would shout "shoot," and sometimes it wouldn't shoot where you were looking. Sometimes, not often, but sometimes it would work. So it was one of those things that. And bearing in mind that almost most of the, I'm not going to say all of them because some retro fans get annoyed, but a lot of the games, the Zapper games for the NES were crap. This was a peripheral that looked awesome, was utterly useless, but. What game title would you most like to see me playing using the Konami laser scope? And for those who want to know, Google it. It's a pretty nifty thing that come out in the early 90s.
Oh yeah, no, I'm going to be googling that after this. But from the version of it that I have in my head right now, there is very much a game I would like to see you play on that, and that game is Duke Nukem 3D.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the reasoning behind this. I think I've got a suspicion.
Because just the sheer amount of words that would need to be said in order for you to navigate your way through that game using this device. I mean, not only would you need to say shoot a ridiculous number of times and hope that it shoots there, but occasionally you'd have to walk up to the various sort of dancers in that one and shout jiggle or show them or something like that. And, here's some money because Duke Nukem's a really forward-thinking, kind of not misogynist kind of guy.
It's a game franchise that has moved with the times, clearly.
Yes, absolutely. And occasionally, slightly better reason, you might occasionally get to shout out to lines from either Evil Dead or They Live, because I know how much you like to shout, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum.
And I'm all out of gum.
That's it. Man, I love that movie.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting choice, and I can understand why you went with it. But I've gone with something a little more left field here. Have you heard of a game that came out a couple of years ago? I think it was published by Square Enix. I think it was, called The Quiet Man.
No, I don't remember that at all. I remember hearing people moaning about it, but I don't actually know what the game itself was about.
Well, basically, you play antagonist who, I think they patched it, but originally the main character's deaf, so we can't hear anything. So you don't hear anything in the game.
Oh no!
But in this one, you would control him using the gun.
Yeah,
people won't be able to hear you. And I'm not doing it to make fun of anyone with any hearing issues.
No,
I'm doing it because I like the idea.
By accident.
I just like the fact that you'd be shouting you'd be shouting at the screen for hours to no avail. And I don't think you'd figure it out. That's what I'm just going to go with. So that's why I've gone with
the main character be looking at the screen.
Just going like, for God's sake, you literally taking the piss, just shouting at me. You know I can't hear this. What are you doing? You piece of shit. You need
to learn that very useful sign language like they have in Dune.
Exactly. Yeah. I was just like, what's that? 6 coconuts inserted where? What? I have to go.
That's probably what I'd be getting to by the time
lick the neck of a lizard. What? That's why I'd be terrible in those situations. And I wouldn't be like, oh, you want me to kill this guy? Oh, whoops, sorry, giving it away. Anyway, we do have one final question.
Is it a more sensible question?
It's actually a very, very serious question. It's actually a genuine gaming question from rather awesome, super awesome streamer, Mama S.
Yes.
Friend of the podcast. Awesome gamer. Do check out. Also, went recently viral on YouTube. One of her videos recently for
cool.
gameplay one. So racks up a load of views. So do check out my rest. But this question's about breaking news that has been announced today as of time of recording. So I don't know whenever we get around to fighting this out. But Mama S, I'd be interested in hearing your opinions on the Sega Microsoft strategic partnership that recently been announced.
Okay, so this isn't Microsoft buying Sega or anything, is it?
No, so that's before the fanboyisms getting pointed. This isn't a acquisition in the sense of, this isn't as far as we know, this isn't a Bethesda kind of, we own these guys and all their IP and that kind of stuff. Sega is still Sega, but there's a strategic partnership.
So, do we have any more details about what that is, or they've literally just said we're doing a strategic partnership now?
Well, at first I was confused by the terminology strategic partnership. I felt it was a very bit like, like for example, you could possibly suggest that, me and my wife are in a strategic partnership to stay together for the sake of the kids, for example. I don't know.
Financial reasons.
Yeah, exactly. And also because splitting the DVD and Blu-ray collection would just be too difficult.
Breaking up is such a fact.
I know. I would really miss that copy of the Dancing Great Showman.
Yeah,
but there's basically what they've announced, I think, as far as what I've read up today, is that they want to. Is that Sega are kind of exclusively engaging with Microsoft to help leverage Microsoft's cloud platform Azure for gaming experiences and further collaboration in that arena to utilize it more. And that's, cloud tech has been a big thing in gaming for, or has been a big suggestion in gaming for a good few years now.
Yeah, we had that story about Kojima switching from PlayStation to Xbox because of their cloud infrastructure.
Yeah, exactly. And even Sony themselves have done a deal with Microsoft to use their cloud infrastructure. And and I think it's a kind of a, people saw that as a kind of what they're working together. So no, it's not. It's like there are basically 2 or 3 really big cloud tech companies in the world. Microsoft's one, Amazon's another one. There's a few other, but these are the big boys. You're going to go one or the other. They've done a deal with Microsoft, who've got this rather amazing, cloud computing software. But personally, though, I think all that's a smokescreen. I'm going to be honest. I think, it's all about, I want to leverage cloud gaming and stuff like that. No, here's what I think is going to happen. It's no, Game Pass is great, don't get me wrong. I'm not anti-Xbox, but I think it's quite clear that possibly in terms of, if you're looking at good old-fashioned console wars, these guys have falling behind the competition when it comes to Nintendo and PlayStation in terms of units sold. That's the rumor that Series X isn't selling as well as the PlayStation is, and all the interest is as high, and the Series S is quite readily available. Anyway, I think
there's a lot of brand loyalty from the previous generation, who people sort of tend to go with what they already have, particularly as things haven't really changed that much. Certainly not on the Microsoft side, anyway.
So here's what I think. Microsoft have been in the Xbox brand. Boom, it's gone. No more Xbox. Physical Xboxes. Game Pass will stay, but and instead they're pulling all the money into Sega Dreamcast 2.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, I would like to see, as we've said previously, Dreamcast, I think, is one of the better looking consoles that has ever graced anybody's shelves. Yeah. But again, I'm not sure there's the kind of brand loyalty there for that sort of thing. But
I don't think you understand how much people now like the Dreamcast. No one liked it back in the day, to be quite clear. No one bought it. But now everyone says it's the best console ever made. And that everyone who didn't think that was stupid, despite the fact that none of those people bought it back in the day, or were too young to actually buy a console and use it. So I mean, there's a lot of like false nostalgia about the Dreamcast. Everyone loves the console that no one ever actually bought, and what a great idea! Xbox as a brand it's dead, it's boring, it's pointless. Game Pass is the only reason I have an Xbox, isn't it? I mean, Halo Infinite's not even launching with controller inputs or something. I don't know. So why not just ditch? It's going to be Dreamcast. What do you think? Anything? Your thoughts? What do you think is going on? Being cooked?
I've slightly different tack on it. I think this is like in those zombie films where a guy gets bit, but kind of thinks, no, I'll be fine. I'm not going to turn zombie. And Sega's been bit, and they're denying it. They're just saying, no, we're not going to become part of this kind of blob style hive mind of all these Xbox studios and something like that. No, that's not us. We're going to be okay. We'll find a cure for the zombieism.
Oh, you think this is a hostile takeover through the back door? I think this is backdoor shenanigans.
Absolutely, I feel this is like an entry through the rear to get themselves inside of Sega, inside that squirrely little hedgehog guy, and then take what they want from the inside out.
Wow, that is some imagery there. You've painted a picture. I mean, wow. So I hope, Mamarest, that answers your sensible question. We're divided on this one. Dante thinks this is a backdoor operation from the likes of Microsoft to get themselves firmly wedged within Sega. I think this is a chance for Microsoft to cut the Xbox hardware line and go into Dreamcast 2, which is retrospectively the best console ever made. So that's. This
is just what you want it to be. I don't think that's realistic.
I think if you read, well, okay, put it this way, the Dreamcast was one of the first online console experiences you could do online play with.
Yeah, no, I remember the adverts, the really big selling point,
and Microsoft
playing together,
do lots of internet thingies.
Yeah.
Coincidence?
Yes,
I don't think so. I don't think it's coincidence, Dante. Open your eyes.
Everyone does
Stop being
thingies.
Yeah, that's just what they want you to think. Stop being so blind to the truth. Xbox is going, everybody. Dreamcast 2 is on the way in. Guaranteed.
Are we taking bets?
I bet that if I'm right, I get your entire game collection. And if you're right, I will admit that. On the podcast. And if I win, I will make love to each of your games individually on the podcast.
I'm so glad you said games there. I didn't think, what are you going to do? Leave my kids alone.
What? Oh, God, no. If I was going to go that route, it would be you, Dante. It wouldn't be lovely. It wouldn't be lovemaking. It would be... Anyway, that about wraps up this episode.
It'd be like that bit in 300 that was added that wasn't in the comics.
Yeah. So this... Oh, gosh. I went dark.
Yeah, we need to talk about where people can find us.
Where can people find us on the snowshoes?
Snowshoes?
Yeah.
All right,
I'm trying out some new things from the Nug Nugs.
All right, okay. So on the socials, you can get in touch with us at the Jambags Facebook page. If you search Facebook for Jambags, you'll see our logo and be able to connect with us there. You can also find Jambags on Twitter. At Jambags_UK is the account that is used by Rudy Manchego. At Dante RDRGZJB is the Twitter handle for the Dante Rodriguez account. Please feel free to interact with us there. Ask us questions. Generally insult us. Ask why half of the very, very dark stuff was included in this podcast and was not edited out by one of our editors, which is Rudy.
What?
You can also contact us via our Instagram page at Jambags_UK. I've been playing a bit of Assassin's Creed Odyssey again, so for about sort of a couple of days, so I've got like 1 million pictures of Cassandra ready to share.
Wow.
On that one, because new next gen upgrade, she looks even better. And you can contact us through various message boards on our YouTube account. You can search on YouTube for the Jambags YouTube account, and you can speak to us there through the message boards on that. What other ways are there to listen to the Jambags podcast?
As you mentioned, we have a YouTube channel. We upload this podcast as a video, sort of audio video, so you don't watch us, but you can listen to us via YouTube, and as you said, interact, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. You can listen to us on Spotify, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, and on any RSS feed app. So most apps will have a copy of the Jambags Gaming Podcast on there. So check us out however you liked it. And if there is an opportunity to give us feedback, be it on Apple Podcasts or YouTube, please do drop some likes and reviews and all that kind of stuff. It massively helps with discoverability and generally makes me feel good. Even if it's bad, it's good. So right. There's no such thing as bad.
Yes, absolutely right. And if any of your friends or any of the people in your life say that you've hit a certain age milestone and you are too old to be gaming now, please go ahead and smash them right in the Jambags. See you next time, Jambaggers.
See ya. Oh, well, that's it, Dante. You can see my hand. It's flashing red. I'm about to turn.
Oh, hey, flashing light, buddy. Hey,
yeah,
mine's been doing it for a while now.
I guess with it flashing red, I've got two choices. I can sit down next to you in your rocking chair, eat as originals, or I can get this jumpsuit / unitard on, make some laser sounds, and grab Jenny Agutter and we'll go on the run. Logan's Run.
I feel like you're referencing something that I should know, but
Logan's Run. It's a really famous sci-fi film. That whole first sketch. You didn't really? Get any.
Really?
You're not
okay.
You're not.
Hey, isn't Jenny Agutter that nun from that old midwife show? Ugh. You're running off with her.
No, it was done in this. Fine. I'm running away with old Jenny Agutter nun. That's
okay.
Can't believe you didn't. You didn't even. We just did the whole. You didn't wonder what the... Forget it.
Sorry. Film.
Right, well, I'm off then. I'll see you later. I'm going
Don't you dare take those Werther's originals. Those are mine.